In the rugged terrain of the desert, there existed a flock of vultures. These vultures, with their sharp beaks and keen eyes, rule the skies, swooping down to feast upon the remains of the deceased. Among them was a vulture named Sultan. Distinguished by the sleekness of his feathers and the confidence in his flight, Sultan was a creature of habit. He had found a comfortable spot atop a rocky cliff where the winds danced gracefully. From this vantage point, he could spot carcasses easily, and he rarely ventured far from his chosen perch. Day after day, he would glide effortlessly on the currents, returning to his familiar spot each evening, satisfied with his easy pickings. The other vultures admired Sultan's skill in locating food and envied his prime position on the cliff. They too wanted to bask in the comfort of reliable food source. So one by one, they began to settle into their own comfort zones, choosing perches and territories that promised convenience and safety. As time passed, the once mighty flock began to dwindle. With each passing day, the vultures grew lazier, relying solely on their established territories for sustenance. They became blind to the changing landscape, ignorant of the dangers lurking beyond their comfort zones. One fateful day, a severe drought descended upon the desert, withering plants and leaving the land barren. The carcasses that once littered the landscape became scarce, and those that remained were fiercely guarded by other scavengers. Sultan, accustomed to the easy meals of the past, found himself struggling to find food. His once sleek features now clung tightly to his gaunt frame, and his keen eyesight dimmed with hunger. Desperation drove Sultan to venture beyond his comfort zone, scouring the desolate landscape in search of sustenance. But his weakened state left him vulnerable, and he soon fell prey to predators who roamed the unforgiving desert. Meanwhile, the other vultures, snug in their comfort zones, remained oblivious to the plight of their fellow flock members. They continued to perch on their familiar cliffs, waiting in vain for the return of easy days. But as the drought persisted, claiming more victims with each passing day, the remaining vultures were forced to confront the harsh reality of their complacency. With their numbers dwindling and their once abundant food source depleted, they had no choice but to abandon their comfort zones in search of survival. In the end, it was too little, too late. The vultures, who had once soared high above the desert, were now grounded and dying. Same thing happens with us also. If you are not growing or learning new things, you will be left behind in this ever-changing world. We constantly need to learn new skills and upgrade ourselves. When you step out of your comfort zone, you take a risk, which teaches us lessons we need to grow in our life. Change is not easy. I think we all can agree on that. It makes us feel unsettled, uncomfortable, and uncertain of what's to come in the future. But that is the only way to take control of your life.